Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Firearms. Today, we are going through a FN SCAR Operator's Toolkit. This is a factory FN Operator's Toolkit. They don't sell them anymore as far as I know, and I do know that they are hard as heck to find. Yeah, we're going to dive right in here. We're going to go in and show you what it comes with and show you how to use some of the tools. Alrighty, so it does come in this flat dark earth color. As far as I know, this is the only color they offered it in. I don't think they offered it in black, at least I couldn't find any information on it. Yeah, so it is a pouch made by Eagle. First thing you see here is this massive wrench here, and it is a torque wrench. It is set for 62 inch-pounds, which is the exact torque you need for removing and reinstalling the barrel. Not necessarily removing, but reinstalling the barrel. Comes with a bit with a T25. Comes with this little guy. This little guy here is a punch to get the gas piston out. Slides in like this, and I'll show you here. The bolt carrier group pushes up against it, and this punch just pushes the piston out. Also comes with a multi-tool. Has a flathead screwdriver, another T25. Typically you would remove the barrel with this T25 and not use the torque. Does come with a front post adjustment tool. Comes with a grenade launcher removal tool. This is a lanyard hole, so you can put a lanyard in there. And then this little guy right here, that is to help pry the gas piston out. I'll show you that here when we disassemble it here. Also comes with a couple clips. I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but we'll find out here in just a minute. There's one for 223. There's one for 308. I'm sure somebody will correct me. It's like a clip or something along those lines. And then also got some fancy instructions here. So I'll open these eyes up. I'll let you pause as needed. This one goes over here about zeroing. This goes about suppressor settings, how to clean the piston, more information on zeroing, information about the multi-tool. Like I said, tells you what they all are. Here's information about the cleaning tool, which I do not have. It comes as part of the FN SCAR cleaning kit. So if you know anybody that's got one, or do you know where there's one for sale, the actual FN one, I'd love to get one. So let me know about that. And then the barrel change procedure, which we will also go over. Cool. All right. Does have MOLLE clips here, so you can attach it to a bag or your gear or whatever you want to do here with that. But let's dive right in here. So we'll set these things. Oh, it does come with this also. This is part of the zeroing process for zeroing the iron sights, and we'll do some shooting here, see if we can get that to work as well. Set all this aside here. I just happen to have a SCAR sitting here, so we can demonstrate all this with here. This is SCAR 17. Just want to make sure we're clear. Nothing in the magazine. Nothing in the chamber. Perfect. Alright, so I do have a video out there already detailing the disassemble and reassemble of the SCAR, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just going to go ahead and take it apart here. But we'll quickly start with the clips here. So basically what this does is just helps you load it. So you put it in the back, snap it in place all the way down. I just happen to have some handful of 308. Uh-oh, knocking them over. 308 M80 balls here. So basically what you do is line it up, push it down. Oops, missed that one. It's not really a speed loader, but it does already put you in the right spacing you need there. Yeah, it does make it a little easier, so you don't have to try to line it up yourself. Yeah, so that just comes apart. That was 5 rounds that fast. And we also have them for 223 in case you have the Scar 16. Alright, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna spend too much time behind it. The white rifle's safe. I'm going to take this apart and I'll show you what the different tools do here. So, take off the lower, take off the buttstock, take out the bolt carrier group. We'll put it down here and set this aside. Charging handle we'll probably need here in a little bit. Cool. Alright, so the first tool that we have on here is the torque wrench. Primary reason for the torque wrench here is to go ahead and disassemble the barrel. So the barrel, you got your 6 nuts here. You can also remove the rear sight. You can also adjust the front sight as needed here. So, tune into the detail. I'm going to crank this out here without explanation on that one. I'll show you as the barrel goes. So that's what this. You have to see me here for seconds. Bring it back down here. Well, so you have a new barrel, for whatever reason, you're swapping it out, you're replacing it, you're putting a shorter one in for CQB, you're putting a 20-inch one for longer range. Got your new barrel, so this is what you would normally do here. So you go ahead and line this guy up. Make sure it's flush. We're flush on there. So when it's flush, it should be lined up. And that's going to the instructions, which is right here. You have those. So it tells you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go. North, south, choose left. And then next way over your lens. That broken down. We'll see how left I go. Ready? Oh, turn it off. Got it. Try this again. Put this down now. There we go. Now we're flush. That's what we're looking for there. Let's try this again here. Look. Okay. Snug. Alright. Now we'll go ahead and take our torques. It is already set, like I said, for 62 inch-pounds. Start on the shooter's left. So just turn it till it pops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go over one more time. Double check. I'm going to save this one. Perfect. All right. We are all set up for that here. So we got the barrel swapped out. All right. Next thing to do, let's go ahead and use this guy. So this guy again is to punch out the piston. I'm going to go ahead and raise the front sight. We do have this leverage tool here, so kind of take a look at it here. Hooks on with the hook, and it, as you can see, it's hooking on there. So you yank that down if you needed leverage to go and break that loose. This thing is not too bad here, so I should be able to get it down to the 4 without it. Use the charging handle, pushing that D10, turn the block down, comes right out. And I get the piston out, so we'll go ahead and use our tool. So we're line this guy up right in here. Follows the same grooves as the bolt carrier group. There we go. Go ahead and stick the bolt carrier group in here. There he goes. Normally I would use the charging handle for leverage, but it popped out already. I just cleaned it, so that's why it's popping out so easy. Normally after a few shots it's not going to come out that easy here. Take the bolt carrier group back out. And get the tool out. Tool slides right out. Bam! So that's that guy. We reviewed that, reviewed this. Perfect. Alright, we've used the torque limiter. So let's go ahead and reassemble this guy here. We'll put the piston back in. Reinstall this at the 4 o'clock. I do have a detailed video on reinstalling this here, so if you wanted more information on it, Go look at that other video here. I got a 30-minute video of disassembling this thing. All right, leave that in the 12 o'clock. Front sights are up. All right. Next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is let's see what this thing's talking about. How this thing works, and the front post works here. So we've done. Here's the information about that. Here's information about the barrel removal. All right, so here's talking about the zeros. All right, so just it says make sure it's on 0. Set to factory 0. If it's not, this is the way you would test it out. I am not the best reader in the world here, so I'll go ahead and take my crack at it here. But we're going to start on number 1. Set front sight to mechanical 0. A. To set mechanical 0 for elevation, use the SCAR multi-tool to rotate the front sight post until the base of the front sight post is flush with the front sight housing. To set mechanical 0 for windage, use the SCAR multi-tool to rotate the windage screw until the front sight housing index is aligned with the index line located in the front of the gas block. What in the does all that mean? Well, it took me some time to figure it out here, but I figured it out. So if you look closely right here, I don't know if you can see it, there's 5 notches, 5 lines. On the side itself, there's a tiny little notch right in there here. I don't know if you can see it or not here, but there's notches right there. So basically, you take this notch and you line it up with the slots. In this case, there's 5 slots. The middle one is the one they're talking about, and here's the notch on the sight. To me, that looks pretty dang close. I'm going to call that 0. So that's for the windage. Next thing it's talking about is, flip this over here, is that this needs to be flush. I'm guessing what it's talking about is right in here, like this piece down here is the base. So if I look at it, looks pretty flush to me. I think that's what they're talking about here, so we'll find out. So it looks like it's on factory 0 or mechanical 0. All right, moving on here. So that was the front sight. Let's read the rear sight here. So the rear sight, number 2, set rear sight to mechanical 0. A. To set mechanical 0 for elevation, bring the rear sight fully down by turning the rear sight elevation drum counterclockwise to end of travel. To set mechanical 0 for windage, the rear sight must first be flipped down. Turn the left or right windage knob until the rear sight post index line is centered on the rear sight housing line. What in the does all that mean? Well, I happen to figure this one out too. All right, front post up here. So here is the knob. So it's got some little grooves on it. So I'm turning it to the right, so clockwise. That's how you adjust for elevation. Counterclockwise until the 0's out. There. From what I can tell, it's at 0. All right, so now it says flip the sight down. And here's what it's talking about here. So let's see if we can get my little guide tool. So there's a little notch right here. If you can see that or not here. So there's a little notch right there. That needs to line up with the sight. To me, that is pretty well lined up there. So I'm going to say that's a 0. 0, 0. So windage is 0, elevation is 0 on the rear. Windage is 0, elevation is 0 on the right. Perfect. So let's assume we have mechanical 0. Now we take this fancy guy. So then it goes on and talks about, you know, just make sure it's saved, do shoot the 3-shot group, and then it starts talking about all the different calibrations and stuff here for CQB, standard, LB. I don't know what LB is. Maybe somebody that can tell me. No, it's not pound. But yeah, so different types of ammo. So here's a 17 with M80 ball, and I guess that's what I can expect. So, started looking at this guy. This guy here tells you a couple of things here. So basically, up here is telling you each block equals 1 MOA at 25 yards. So I don't think it's talking about the big bold blocks. I think it's talking about the little tiny blocks inside. This is front side windage, 1 click, excuse me, front side wind elevation, 1 click equals 1.5 squares. So I think one of these little squares, 1.5 of them is 1 click to the front sight. Rear sight windage, excuse me, front sight windage, 1 click equals 1 square. So elevation is 1.5 squares, windage is 1 square. So basically, what I gathered by looking at this here is you're going to aim for this. Let me correct that here. You're going to go ahead and shoot your 3-shot group on a target. Once you have it on the target, you're going to take this and you put it up against the target. When you put it up against the target, this should be where you aimed. So you line this up because it's clear so you can see where you're at. You're going to line this up to where you're aiming. Your hole, your bullet impact, should be in this area. If it's not here, then you start making your adjustments, one click, you know, elevation, windage, whatever it is. So when you aim here, your point of impact is here, you put this over it, and just make sure that lines up at 25 yards. If it doesn't line up, you make your adjustments until it does line up. That's my understanding. We're going to play with it and find out. So yeah, so I think once you get that, it's going to go ahead and zero in at a 25-yard zero. It's also good for a 300-yard zero, from what I understand from the manual here. So, yeah, we're going to put that to the test here. So, let me put this guide together real quick. We're going to fast forward this. You guys put that here before. If not, then everything else. Put it together. Check the function here. Perfect. Alrighty. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take a few shots here. And let's a few shots at the range here, see if we can figure this out here. So, join me. Let's go ahead and zoom on in over to the range. Take a few shots.